Nice. How so is Alan Wake 2 called American Nightmare, or is that DLC?
I don't know the answer, but
Hmm.
let's find out.
Yeah. I feel like it's DLC. Wait, this is like its own game. It's a third person shooter? What?
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it came out in 2012. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
So apparently it was like a little extra game
Okay.
back in the day.
Oh, okay. But maybe not what you're looking for because it's just like a shooting game.
Yeah. I think they just did a
Mm,
little something different with the story, and it sounds like it's more multiplayer focused.
mm. Hmm.
But the game lends itself to like multiple possibilities.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, so it's supposed to be an episode of Night Springs, which is like the Twilight Zone from the game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know this existed.
I I've seen it advertised a lot, so I just assumed it was like DLC for the new one, like the second one.
And I'm probably gonna finish it like this evening.
Oh,
It might
really?
it might take this evening and tomorrow, but like, boy, it's so good.
It's oh, okay. Okay. I'll check it out.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hi,
Doing good.
friend.
Hello. I I'm feeling a lot better, but I am not
Excellent.
presentable today, so
I
Word.
gotcha.
but I'm here. Also,
I
I was a few minutes late because I realized um, that the fifth Harry Potter book, the illustrated version, has been released for like over a year, and I had no clue, so I had to go buy it.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Yeah,
why
I
I was
still need
late.
to get the fourth and the fifth one. I haven't gotten those two yet.
Yeah.
oh,
So I'm excited to pick it up.
I I want to start the podcast with an inflammatory statement, a very wild statement that might garner a lot of hate
Mm.
from the internet. I so I didn't read the books growing up at all
Mhm.
because it involves witchcraft, and so that's bad. Don't do
Right.
anything with magic. We
Yeah,
want
I
to
had to
stay
read
away
it
from it.
secretly.
Very, very common.
Did you really?
I don't think my parents would have actually cared, but I thought they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine definitely didn't. But I definitely know a ton of people who grew up and weren't allowed to read it.
Yeah. There was all these rumors when I was growing up, and I remember people at my church saying that the rituals and the spells in Harry Potter are pulled straight from like actual books used by witches, and those are like real spells and real rituals that they use. And now that I'm reading the series, I'm like, that is completely not true. There are not actual witches running around saying Allahumora, and
Yeah.
that is
Avada Kedavra. Yeah.
right, exactly. The
I heard the
the
same
the
crap from
idea,
my crew.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I heard the same thing. 'Cause one of my best friends in elementary school, that's what her mom
yeah,
would say, and she wasn't allowed to read it.
I remember
okay,
my mom being like, there's actually a school in England, and they've had like a ridiculous amount of like requests for entry, and I was like, holy shit. And so I researched it at night, and I was like, no. Like, I was so mad. I was like, first off, you're delusional. Secondly, like, fuck you, you made me believe this. Like, I got so excited about to run away and get on a
Oh,
plane,
man.
swim. I didn't know what my plan was.
Wow.
Oh man. So I guess I wasn't I felt like I was alone in that concept of like, my parents told me not to read it, but I guess not. I
Mm-mm.
guess that was more common at the time.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was a big thing for sure.
Interesting.
It was almost akin to like people saying when Dungeons and Dragons came out that like,
Yeah.
and people will die when their characters die in the game, and it's the devil's game.
Right.
Right?
Or just like in the 50s when rock and roll was becoming
Oh yeah, the
big and
portal to
like
hell.
it's the devil's music.
Elvis. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Look at those hips. He
It's
thrusts
Those
to
hips
those
go
hips
crazy.
too much. It's very evil.
But that is why I didn't read them, and this is my first time through.
Yeah.
With
Makes
all
sense.
that being said, now I will say my outrageous statement. Uh looking at the original covers, like the art for the covers, not a fan. Not
Oh
not a fan
no,
of
I love
the
them.
the cover
I
art.
love them because I mean, I guess at this point it's nostalgic.
Yeah,
It just like
it just
brings so much back to me whenever I look at them.
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm in both
The
houses. They're still nostalgic, but I remember looking at them as I read them growing up, and I was like, "This art is shit." Like,
I do always remember thinking Harry looks so weird.
right, yeah. I'm like, what is this? What is this art? It's like
Yeah.
Captain Underpants, kind of like.
However, the illustrated versions,
Yes. Yes.
incredible. Like
I
true. I
agree.
mean, all
Yeah.
illustrated books are works of art in some form, right? It's an
Yeah.
artist drawing it and painting it or whatever. But these
Hmm.
are, I mean, these are just true works of art, and they're so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. I was just about to say that I saw that they came out with like these re-released versions, and I liked those covers way more. And then I found out that they're illustrated, and I was like, oh, I have to check this out because the version I'm reading doesn't have the illustrations.
Right. These are like here. I've got so I have the first four. Apparently, the fifth one was released in October of 2022, and I had no clue.
Oh, oh,
But just
nice,
ordered it.
cool.
Oh well, I don't have my camera on, but I do. I will. I'll bring it in the office tomorrow so I can show you, Jeremy.
Yes,
But
I love
they're
it.
giant hardcover books, so they're definitely like you
Yeah.
can't sit there and hold it in one hand like you
You have
can
to
a
like
paper.
read it like on the thing or in your lap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then
cool.
some of the illustrations take up like 2 full pages.
Oh wow,
Yeah. It's really pretty.
interesting.
It's interesting because I was never a big fan of the cover art, but I love the chapter art, and I'm pretty sure it's
Yes,
the
the
same artist.
beginning. Yeah, I think it is.
Hmm.
It also reminds me a little bit of I think a lot of Stephen King's books have a little art thing at the very
Oh, yep,
beginning of every
yep.
chapter, and it always kind of
Mm-hmm.
think of that.
I just saw the Horace Slughorn chapter art. I think that's my favorite one.
Oh yeah, he looks like a big old like frog or
He's like
something.
he has like a chair frogman.
Yeah.
I'll post it in our chat so Jeremy can see it. It'll be a little glimpse into book 6.
Yes.
Look at this magnificence.
Let me check this out.
Gosh, I must see.
It's in the chat for
Ha!
like
Yes!
our conversation.
Ah, Horace.
Love that character. The casting for him, the person that plays him in the movies, was so
Yeah.
good.
It's
The
perfect.
same guy that does Ziegler in Moulin Rouge, the
Oh.
the ringleader, the circus ringleader.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Forgot about that.
Speaking of Stephen King, I'm gonna make a brief segue. I've been reading this illustrated biography of his, and so this is kind of funny, but the book The Shining. So you think about Jack Torrance, the main character. So he's an alcoholic. He has anger problems. He's angry with his family. He had a little success with short stories, and he's pounding out this. I think it's a play on a typewriter, and struggling with his alcoholism. And as I'm reading the Stephen King biography, Stephen King's like, yeah, at the time that I wrote it, I was in Colorado. I was an alcoholic. I didn't like my family. I was, typing out these stories. And I'm like, oh, wow. So that was basically you. And I'm like, I never made that connection until I read that in the biography. But I'm like, that makes so much sense. Yeah. So you were just writing from your perspective.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
a brave thing to admit. I posted a
Yeah.
picture of Jack Torrance.
So, yeah. One,
The
I'm sure
gift
I'm sure
with
you guys already knew that.
oh yeah, no, you're every time I see that picture, I just think of the GIF where it's got somebody edited in Olaf in the background.
Yeah.
Gotta find that. It's been too long.
This one here it is.
Yay, here it comes.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
So, yeah. Also, can we talk about the HBO Max Harry Potter series that got approved and they're working on it right now, and it's going to go for a decade? A decade, guys.
Decade? Oh my gosh.
I'm really
10
excited.
years.
I just want more content. Like, it doesn't make me mad. I want
I
it
do
to be
too.
re-realized. I think it
Right.
lends itself to a show format way
Oh, yeah.
better than it does to movies. Very
Oh,
yeah.
excited.
definitely. While I think the movies do well on their own. You watch them as movies and I think to me they're really good movies just as movies. They do miss a lot
Mm-hmm.
that's in the books.
Mhm.
So,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Like
And
Peeves,
they
great example. Not in the movies at all.
yes, and you
Yes.
need Peeves. I
Yeah,
love
Peeves is
Right.
great. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
also, it's so exciting that you're on book 4 because I feel like book 4 is the most like, ugh, school.
It is.
Yeah.
It's where he really starts to get angsty here.
Does he?
Like super angsty. Yeah.
I
It's great.
when you
The
guys were
hair from the movies.
transitioning.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when you transitioned from book 3 to book 4, did it seem like the writing style changed and became more adult in nature? Maybe? No?
I'm not there yet and it's been a while, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because I feel like every book matures a little bit more.
Okay.
Each
Yeah.
book to me gets a little bit more adult, a little darker.
Mhm. Mhm.
The language or the writing becomes a little bit more like age
Yes.
appropriate, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's immediately what I noticed is so the first book it definitely feels like a children's book, and then book 4 she starts using terminology and words that would be way beyond the understanding of like a 9 or a 10-year-old. Like, they
That's
talk about
interesting.
Yeah.
the fireplace hearth, like the hearth of the fireplace inside Hogwarts. And I immediately picked up on that and I was like, oh, okay. Like it's like she changed her writing style a bit. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing at that picture that you said, Thomas. Why is it? It's accurate.
So good.
It's so good.
Thanks,
hair
Reddit.
every movie, the hair just gets longer and longer and longer until you're like, are they gonna keep going every movie?
Tell him? Is he aware?
So good.
I'm trying to find like a good actual picture from the movie, and it's not like as ridiculous as I. Here's one.
It's definitely not that ridiculous. I want to say it's by 6, where his hair gets cut. I think.
I can't remember if 5 if it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 where his hair
I think
changes.
4 was the worst.
4 was by far the worst. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
We're finding it right.
I know.
This
Are
is
you
very
looking at?
important.
Are you looking at?
I
Okay.
okay. They
I
cut
need-
his hair in Order of the Phoenix.
Okay,
He has a much more normal situation
that makes sense.
going on.
I had a feeling because I can remember going to see the 5th movie and thinking, oh my gosh, how? And Ron's is no better.
No, it's not. Which is like, I'm glad they did that because I was that kid too who like wanted to have long hair. My parents like didn't want me to, but I was always like avoiding haircuts, so it always just looked horrible.
Yeah. And then you see somebody else who's like on a big screen for millions of people to watch, and you're like, oh wait,
Oh no,
is that what I look
I'm
like?
an asshole.
Is that what I look like? I liked the evolution of the characters in book 3 because not only does Harry start to really stand up to that evil aunt that comes to visit, but Snape, who you guys warned me that Snape doesn't get any better, and you guys are correct. He was so frustrating. Like he's talking to Hermione, and he's like, "Be quiet, young lady. You shall not speak." And I'm just like, Snape, why are you doing this? And then like I like how Harry starts standing up to Snape as well, and I I believe so. Then Sirius Black turns into the dog, and they go under the Whomping Willow. It's like there's like a.
Womp
Are they
womp.
in the Shrieking Shack at that point?
He,
I think.
That's where it leads. That cat like the catacombs
believe
under or
so.
the tunnel.
Yeah, and I believe at that part, Harry, there's like, Harry says he pulls out his wand and he's about to kill Snape, and you see that like progression of the character, and you realize, at least from my perspective, once he makes that decision and he's ready to kill Snape, what it's building up to in my mind is like Voldemort's going to come back. All the people that are kind of laying low and still following Voldemort are going to once again side with him once he regains power. And then there's going to be the other people on the other end of the spectrum that are going to side with Dumbledore, and they're just going to kill each other in like this final battle. That's how it feels to me, and they're kind of building up to that, like book 3 when he's ready to kill Snape, you see that progression or like where it's leading to.
Yeah, like he's already willing to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, yeah. And also Hermione slapping Malfoy.
So good.
Yes, yeah, I liked that.
Yeah.
And it felt like that was kind of ramping up the tension as well, because now she's, instead of just like listening to Malfoy's insults, now she's hitting him, and you're like, okay, like I see where this is going. Like the lines are being drawn. Malfoy's gonna, I think Malfoy's gonna be evil at the end and side with Voldemort, and then possibly they kill him. Is my thinking.
I just want to say, it's so satisfying in the movie
Hmm.
when she hits
Yeah,
him.
it is.
It's a fantastic. I think I remember the theater like cheering.
Yeah.
Everybody just waiting for that moment.
Nice.
Also, Hermione really steps up in book 3. Not that she didn't in book 1 and 2, because she's like the reason they get through a lot of shit, like
Right,
the only
yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in book 2, it was like she did the polyjuice potion, and like that's cool, but like it didn't go well for her, and like she had to deal with that. 3, like with the time turner, like she made that decision. It's like, all right, I'm about to do like a magical felony. Like this shit could like end me up in jail. Like this is not good.
Right.
Severely
to break
mess up
the world.
timelines.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
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 That part
If you really think about it, if Hermione wasn't there, I'm pretty sure Ron and Harry would have died long ago and never made it through.
Yep.
Yeah, they would have done the potions thing in book 1, and they would have drank poison and died. That would have
That
just
would
been what
be
happened. It would be like,
literally
oh
be
no,
it.
another 2 kids eaten by Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be more Sirius Black. There was very little of him, and I wanted more.
Yeah. There's not as much.
Yeah.
When I
And
reread, my view of Sirius Black was very different as an adult than as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because as a kid, he's like the cool uncle. Like once you like find out at the end of book 3, and you're like, oh, he's all right, and you're like, man, like I want them to be together more. Like the Dursleys are so horrible.
Right.
But there's a lot of times now as an adult when I'm that I see Sirius and I'm like, man, like he didn't mature for most of his life. Like you can tell he's an adult kid. Because he spent all of his adult life in fucking prison. And I wonder what you'll think about that as you read more and you like see Harry and his interactions and like what they can and can't do.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. How long is he in Azkaban for?
I guess it's not most of his adult life. 11, 12 years, because he must have gone right after he gave Hagrid the motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was like Harry the like newborn infant, and then escaped in year 3, so that's 12, 13 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That was really good math.
Thanks. I was off about the galleons, but I was on about this.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's hard. That's harder. The galleons are harder.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's almost like a galleon is like a 20, or like a like a $20 bill.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I thought it was like a couple hundred.
I feel like I don't know why I get this feeling, but I feel like he's not coming back. Like he there might be like some brief cameos, but like, he's not gonna have like a big part in the rest of the series. I don't know why I have that feeling. It just that I have that sense. So, but yeah, Thomas, I was with you. Like you get to the end of the book, and he's like, oh, I was the one that gave you the super fast broom, the firebolt, and now you can come live with me, Harry, and everything's gonna be fine. You don't have to live with your aunt and uncle anymore. And I was so excited. I was like, yes, he finally gets out of there. Like things are looking up. And then they dash your hopes, and I started book 4 because I had to know. Yep. I was like, what happens to it? And sure enough, you start book 4 and he's back living with the Dursleys again. I was just like, oh, great.
I remember that too, thinking, oh my gosh, with like just so much hope. Like as if it's me. Like I was so excited. like it was me, and then just being depressed
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
They're
He's played
so
by Gary
awful.
Oldman. Gary Oldman as Sirius Black is so hot.
He's such a
Oh.
good Sirius Black.
I love Gary Oldman.
Yeah, me too. He's also one of those actors who just sort of really becomes his character. He's in so many movies, and you're like, holy shit, wait, yeah, that is Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he does very well, like the bad guy from Air Force One. Like I loved Gary Oldman for a long time, and I had seen that movie, and it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I was like, what the fuck? He was that
Yeah.
bad guy? Like,
Right, exactly.
his the bad guy in Fifth Element, Zorg, I think his name was.
Oh, you're
A
right.
good character.
Yeah.
He also I'm just forgetting. It's obviously a pretty small part, but he's also President Truman in Oppenheimer.
I haven't seen
Oh, really?
Oppenheimer yet. Is it good? I've heard it's wonderful.
It's super good. Yeah, you definitely got to see it. But when Bo and I went to go see the movie, and you come across President Truman, you're like, who is that? I know that's somebody famous, that's somebody really big. Who is it? And he's doing a really good job. And then we
I
had to
gotta
look
look
it
it
up.
up
We're
now.
like, of course it's Gary Oldman, obviously.
I saw Oppenheimer and didn't catch that at all, so that's nice.
Oh man, he doesn't look anything like him. I
I
mean, he looks just
know!
like Truman.
Right, but not himself. Yeah. To me, it was like the eyes were the only thing that were familiar to me. But I just couldn't place it because the rest of the face was so unlike Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm looking at a close up now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely see how that would drive you crazy. Be like, who's doing this? Like,
Yeah.
is that streaming on anything? Yeah.
I think it just came to Apple TV.
I gotta get Apple TV.
Yeah.
I hate paying so much for cable and then also having every streaming service.
Oh, I know, right?
It's like
Where is it?
$300 every month, like to watch things.
It might be Peacock.
Let me see. You can. I think you can like rent it on Apple TV.
I do that. Are you planning on watching all the movies, Jeremy?
Oh, absolutely. I have to rewatch
You
all of them now.
definitely should.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
they're always wintry to me. Like they're like Christmas
They
movies
are.
to me, even though like they don't revolve around Christmas. But like
Yeah.
something about Hogwarts in the movie with the snow, like
Yeah.
makes me think about this time of year.
Yeah.
And also, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say every Christmas like holiday season, they always just have like marathons of Harry Potter because of the same thing. Like I think there's like a couple of the movies where you see them celebrate Christmas. It's like especially what's the first or the second one?
Yeah.
When he celebrates Christmas with Ron. And so I don't know. It does feel extra Christmassy to me as well, even though it doesn't revolve around it.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal in book 4 too because the Yule Ball.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's very wintry.
All my oral fixations. I don't have any problems.
Thomas, Oppenheimer will be streaming on Peacock, but it won't come to that platform for about a month. So.
Oh well, I have it, so that's cool.
So, I'm also gonna recommend to you Killers of the Flower Moon with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I want to see that.
It's really good.
Pretty
this
sure
might
it's
be
There's a
on
lot of
blasphemy.
his movies I
I think
haven't
it's on
seen.
HBO.
I liked it even better than Oppenheimer. So
I also have the book too.
Killer, Kill,
Um,
Killers of the Flower Moon.
There's a book. I think it was a book first.
Oh, oh. Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's called Killers of the Flower Moon: The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI.
Oh, cool. Did you? So you already read the book?
Oh no, I haven't read it, but I do have
Oh.
it. My answer is usually I have the book, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Speaking of, I haven't read it yet.
Oh my gosh, he's mobile.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
he has a
Check this
computer
out,
phone.
Thomas. So we were talking about Robert Galbraith. Is that how you say it?
Mhm.
And so I go to Ollie's, which has now basically turned into a weekly run because every time I go, I have to buy something. And we're talking about the
Oh
guess-
wait, yeah, is that the way what you showed me?
the Cormoran Strike novel.
Right, yeah.
And so I go to Ollie's and I
Oh,
find
What's
a Robert Galbraith Cormoran Strike book for $3.99 and it's hardcover. And then
Yeah.
look at the size of this thing.
It's
yeah.
giant.
The size of that.
That's a goblet of fire right there.
Yeah, really.
Massive.
How big are the words? How big is
That's
the
a good
print?
point. They're small.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
Still not as bad as The Stand. Boy, howdy, was that book big.
Could you
So,
imagine
yeah.
having to need like a large print version of that? Could be
Man,
like
it'd be volumes.
be like a phone book.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, if you guys ever see an Ollie's, stop in. You will not be disappointed.
Nice.
I will put it next to both of your presents.
No.
Oh.
I have all your presents stacked up. So when I see you guys, I'll distribute them. Okay.
Journey
Also,
on the moon.
Thomas brought this up maybe 2 book clubs ago, but just the pacing is immaculate. Like you sit down and you get so wrapped up in the world. Um, last weekend, last weekend, just a few days ago, I was on chapter 8, chapter 9 of the 3rd book, and I sit I sit down on a Saturday and I just start reading it, and I just like I didn't want to leave the house. I mean, it was super cold, but like also I wanted to know what was going to happen, and I finished the book in basically a day. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. They do have really good pacing.
yeah,
I would argue that it's some of the best pacing of any book. Like she found some formula that just like captures you and the young mind and just makes you want to keep going. The only books with similar pacing that are just consistently that good, I would say, are the Dresden Files.
Oh,
Like the pacing of them
yes.
is very similar. And the like, I've reread the series twice, and there's never a book or a moment where I'm like, I don't want to keep going. Like I don't want to stay up late and read another chapter. I do always.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really good analogy. The Dresden Files and then her books are kind of similar, where you don't really want to put it down. And it was funny because as I got sucked into the 3rd book, I tried to analyze why it's so addictive and why you don't want to drop it. And one of the things that I noted was it's very unique. How do I describe this? It's like unique situations or like unique scenarios in a book, so you don't know what's going to happen, right? So in many books you have like that big chunk where it's like, oh, okay, they're building up to something, or they're laying the groundwork with these clues, and it's leading up to something. Let me skip these chapters, let me get to the good part, right? Let me get to the action. But her books kind of keep you off balance, where it seems like things are always changing and there's always some sort of danger, and you don't really quite know what's going to happen next. That keeps you reading. It doesn't follow that same formula like most books, like, here, let's slowly build up to the climax, and then you fight the bad guy, and then the descending action. It's like they always they always keep you off balance, kind of, where you're learning something new about the world and it's not following like a formula that you would normally see in a book series.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like it's like there's always like a next interesting tidbit or an amazing thing, even if it's
Yeah,
mundane in the sense it doesn't matter to the story. Like they're just going to a class and doing a thing, but because
Right.
it's Hogwarts, you're
exactly.
still excited.
Yeah, and a great example of that is maybe I'm saying this wrong, like the Bogart Bogart that they fight.
Bogart's how I think of it. Yeah,
I think it's
Bogart,
yeah.
I've heard Bogart.
Bogart,
Oh, I think that's how I've said it is Boggart,
the Bogart.
since it's two
Um,
G. I don't know. Yeah.
to
So the
me,
actor for Lupin pronounces it.
oh really? The whole, like, the Boggart and their training under Lupin, to me, is a great example, because it's like normally those would be like boring throwaway chapters in a different novel where it's like, oh, time for your lessons, and but with the Boggart, it's taking the form of what they fear most, and then that then gives you information that you use later on in the book. Like Lupin was scared of the moon, right? And then um you know uh he doesn't immediately test Harry, and then I guess Harry's a bit offended, why didn't you test me with it? But and then yeah, it's just it felt like none of it was just like throwaway chapters leading up to something bigger. Like everything was kind of unique.
I feel like a lot of the mini skill stuff they end up pulling to. I can't remember like the blast ended screws which one that was, but I feel like they come up later on.
Mm.
Sorry, I was just looking at Boggart, and then it had a little clip off to the side from the movie with the
Uh-huh.
Boggart, and I was like, ah.
The Boggart. Why do you think they're addictive, Christy? What do you think is the aspects where you kind of get hooked on them?
I don't know. I think I kind of agree with what you were saying. There's always just something interesting happening, even if it's not necessarily moving along the larger plot.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. There's something about the way she makes the world so interesting,
Yeah.
where it is, like Thomas said, just even going to class and then learning something specific in a specific class is even interesting enough. Instead of just, oh, I feel like I'm in school and I
Yeah.
want to like speed read past this because it's boring.
Yeah. There's in most other books, it feels like there's filler sections where you're like, oh, okay, this is just, introducing
Right.
this character, or this is some backstory I'm not really interested in.
Introducing the
But
world. Yeah.
yeah, but you don't skip anything in these books. It doesn't feel like
Mhm.
there's any filler where it's like, oh, I don't really need this information. That, like, I already know this. Like, let's get to the real action. That never
Yeah.
really happens.
Yeah. I never felt that at any age reading these books.
Yeah. Hmm.
I love Bowtruckles. Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, I forgot about Bowtruckles.
When they introduce them in the book, it's so casual and violent. They're like, oh yeah. So I think you may have read the part, but it's really small. Bowtruckles are little stick bug people that live in trees of quality to make wands out
Oh,
of.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Mhm.
And they're
Huh.
innately magical in like weird ways. But
Yeah.
like it says real casually that like, yeah, and if you piss them off, they'll climb on you and fucking gouge your eyes out. Like
It's tiny and like weirdly adorable, but so
Yeah.
violent.
Justin got me a little statuette of one.
Aw.
It's so delightful. I'm gonna go grab it. I haven't played with it in a long time. It's like
Sometimes it's kind of how I feel about Ponyo. She's small and adorable, and sometimes weirdly violent.
I'll be right back. It's right behind me.
I can't wait to see it.
Bye. Their their world their world in general just seems a bit violent and dangerous.
Yeah. There's something
He's got this cool little case. He's a
Oh,
little
it's
stick
so
bug
cute.
guy. I
I
want to take
love
him out so he
him.
can play.
love him.
Oh God, it's like sealed by dust.
I think
How
I
do
always
you
kind of
get him
loved
out?
how
I want to play with my toy.
their world still felt more ancient, I guess.
Mm.
Like it hadn't really progressed beyond a specific time. And I don't know if that's maybe most of the setting
Little guy.
being in Hogwarts in old castles.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's so cute. I love it.
He's got like his hand on his hip.
He looks very
Can you see
sassy.
that?
He's very sassy.
And his tongue is like sticking out. Can you see that?
He's so sassy.
He's so sassy.
I love
He's got
it.
this like
That's awesome.
claw. That's his hand right there at the front.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
They'll gouge
So
your eyes out.
they make the wands, or you make a wand out of them.
He's got a penis. Look at the little guy.
Oh,
Wait, can
oh
you see?
yeah.
Wait. Up there it is.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
It's like on his leg,
that's
but it's dangerously
that's
close to
not
penis
small.
hair. No, terrifying. But no, they don't make wands. That's a sign that a tree is like good enough to make wand out of, is like
Oh,
they will live
okay.
in that tree.
Oh, it's almost like they're like drawn to the energy, kind of.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, interesting.
Bye, buddy. I'll talk to you later. I gotta name him.
So
Gary.
he's a Bowtruckle.
Yeah,
Call him
Name him Gary.
Gary the Bowtruckle. I love that.
Gary. Gary.
Or like something extremely British. Like
Archibald Willingham Butts.
but
Mhm.
yeah.
That's Newt Scamander's Bowtruckle for the movies.
He's so cute.
I love him.
I want a little Bowtruckle friend.
Giving him a heart.
I think they have a couple other magical properties. Like I think they can pick any lock with their hand. I think that's the thing.
What?
Crafty.
Oh yeah, his Bowtruckle is named Pickett.
Nice.
Aw.
Yeah, you get 3 of them on you, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
No eyes.
No eyes.
Uh, if
Somebody did
if we
concept art
do,
for them.
oh,
Sorry, viewers. We don't post the pictures. We post in the chat.
Let me see.
I
Oh,
love
those are
concept
cool.
art.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Bowtruckle.
Oh. They're kind of
Yeah, they're creepy, aren't they?
Yeah. Makes me think of like a sort of like a stick bug crossed with a
Praying mantis.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the creatures
Yeah.
from, oh God, what movie is that? Got Denise Richards in it.
Starship Troopers?
Yes. Like the big like alien creatures as they fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She J.K. Rowling didn't make this concept art though, did she?
I don't think so. I'm
No,
not sure where
I
that's
doubt
from.
it.
Mm.
Maybe this is just like fan art or something. Oh yeah, I see a
Hmm,
deviant art.
maybe.
Like water tag, whatever you call that, on the picture.
Oh, like a watermark.
Watermark, thank you. Water tag.
Water tag.
I think that's just
Sounds
some
like
fans.
a weird bodily thing that happens to old swimmers.
Yeah. I'll play water tag. I don't know. Sounds
A
kind
water
of fun.
tag. Do you guys know why they take a train to get to Hogwarts?
I don't.
I don't remember.
'Cause
I assume they
when
can't. It's something about passing through to the magical world or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I
I
had a
imagine.
auxiliary question regarding that, but the reason why they take a train to get there is because she was on a really long train ride when she first envisioned Harry Potter in the world and then started writing everything down. So that's
Oh, sorry, you meant like from
yeah.
Like the inspiration. That's great.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
She was inspired on a super long train ride, and then she was like, "Well, I'm not doing anything. Might as well write down this fantasy world." So that's where it came from. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of the other things I always think about now that when I think about Harry Potter is the Devil Wears Prada. When the Meryl Streep character asked her to get the advanced copies of one of the books for like her like grandchildren.
Yes.
And like it's a ridiculous ask. Like who gets advanced copies of Harry Potter like in the late end of the series? Like nobody. And like Anne Hathaway pulls it off.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that part of the movie a few days ago, and it's actually something I think about pretty frequently. I don't really know why, but probably because I've been reading Harry Potter, and also we've been talking about it a lot lately, so it's been on my mind a lot more lately. But I think about that part in the movie more than any other part in the entire movie, because I could just imagine being Anne Hathaway's character and like utterly panicking. Like, how in God's name am I gonna get an advanced copy of this super duper popular book?
Yeah.
And it was like literally she was being given a task that
Yeah.
she didn't think that the character would be able to accomplish. Like she like
Right.
it was
Meryl
basically
Streep's
like you're
character
fired
literally
unless
gave
you
it
get
to
me
her
all
because
this
she
money
knew.
right now. Like
Right. She knew she wouldn't be able to accomplish it, so she gave it to her anyway, set her up for failure to begin with, and yet she still did it. And I was like, I would die.
So I love Anne Hathaway. She's so fabulous.
Yeah.
Same.
And now I want an advanced copy.
Right. Man, honestly, like I'm really excited about the HBO series. Like, what a great way to realize that world again.
And I honestly, obviously, it's not literally I mean, they have control over it, right? But I generally trust whatever HBO says they're going to put out. Because most of their stuff is really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a really good job.
I think they're the like media creator that I trust the most as far
Yeah.
as their stuff being quality. Like Amazon, like got really excited about some things, then I watched it and I was like,
Yeah.
this isn't what I was hoping it would be. On the flip side, its Jack Reacher series is fucking incredible. Jack Reacher is
Yeah.
another series that, like, the pacing of their books, I think, is akin to Dresden and Harry Potter, where like you never slow down as you read it. You're always excited to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very controversial, but I enjoyed The Rings of Power
Oh.
Really, I haven't watched it.
Oh.
series,
Huh.
and I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have a season 2, I guess. I mean, it didn't like bomb, so. And I will watch it, and I was very excited about it, and I enjoyed it. There is a lot of stuff that's not canon that they just sort of took creative liberties with, I guess, to further the story or progress the story or tell the story in some way.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think HBO will do a better job, like with the
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
I will watch Rings of Power now. I trust you.
I
think
was
you
just
should.
about to say that, Thomas. I wasn't gonna watch it until Christy recommended it, and then I was like, oh, okay. Well, if she didn't hate it, I'll watch it too.
I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was done very well. I think the biggest gripe that most people have is that a lot of the stuff is not canon.
Okay.
Honestly, to make it watchable, they would have to leave the canon. Sorry, Tolkien.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And then I think the other part of it too is the same sentiment of like I just want more content. I just want
Yeah.
like to keep
Yeah.
I don't know.
Being in that world, like,
I just
Mhm.
want it, yeah, exactly. I don't want it to compromise it or just like I don't know. I don't want somebody to do a shitty job of it. I don't think they did a shitty job or anything though, but I just want more.
it's interesting because, like, I watched the Amazon Wheel of Time first season,
Oh yeah.
and
Can we not speak of that?
yeah, exactly. Like, there were aspects of it that I enjoyed. Like, I love Rosamund Pike. Like, I think she's the coolest bitch out there.
Yeah,
Um,
she's great.
but like, so many core story things were changed, and I was like, I vaguely remember it. I read this before I went to rehabs, so, like, you know, I was on drugs for most of the series, not a lot of retention, and still I watched it and was like, I know this is wrong. Sorry, I'll stop now, Jeremy.
It
I
was
have never read it, but I did
ridiculous.
watch like the first season when they had it out, and I, even though I've never read it, so I don't know the story at all or know what they changed. Something about it felt very like they were trying too hard. Like,
Yeah, there was like a 90s, early 2000s, like,
yeah.
really, like, aspect of the show.
Yeah.
Jeremy's so upset. Look at
Yeah,
his
I've heard that
face. Look at his frown.
I'm so sad that was her first exposure to the series. Like that
Well, I'd
that
still love to read
disappoints
it.
me.
I would still love to read it.
Can we wipe your memory somehow so that you just get the books and
Honestly, just give it another few years and I won't remember anything.
Yeah, word.
It's true. If I read or watch anything
yeah.
and then a few years passes by, it's like I've never read or watched it. I'll remember pieces here and there, but I won't
You
remember.
can remember Rosamund Pike as Moraine. That's fine. She's wonderful.
But I just yeah, I like Rosamund Pike though.
Hmm.
She's good.
Just love Rosamund Pike.
Unless it's something that I've watched or read over and over.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
if it's
'cause
like
I was about to
first time,
say
yeah.
with C.S. Lewis and then also Harry Potter, both of you seem to have extensive knowledge of it.
Yeah,
Some
it's only because I've read it a
sometimes,
lot.
yeah, sometimes I speak a little bit slower and more carefully because I'm like, I have to get these details right because if I don't get these details right, both of them are gonna know immediately. So I have to really think about what I'm saying.
We'll try not to be those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I
We
don't-
honestly, we're the ones that have to be careful because like
Yes.
it'd be very easy to say something that will just like spoil a storyline for you. And how precious
That's
it is
true.
that we have a friend who doesn't know the world. Like it's so cool seeing
It
you
really
go through that journey.
is. It's so exciting because there's not a lot of people our age who both have not read it, but also are still interested in reading. Because you might
Oh, yeah.
meet people our age who are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I never read it as a kid because I didn't really read, and they also still don't want to
Yeah.
read it to this day.
And also people who are like, oh, I don't read, but I've seen all the movies and I know it. Like that's
Really?
like the other large group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I strictly just didn't read it because I wanted to be good. Like I didn't want to like go against my
Yeah.
parents. Also, when you're that young, I don't think you even have a way to necessarily go against what your parents want. Because what are you gonna do? I guess I could have borrowed it from someone at school, but it's
You
not
could
like you
have,
can
but then
go
you would
out
have only
and
had to read it at school, right? I mean, it's not like you can
yeah,
bring it home.
right.
I
So
found ways.
like, how did
I
you
feel
read
like
it?
the ways are a lot easier now, seeing
Yeah,
as
yeah,
internet is everywhere and
right.
devices that connect to the internet are everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
But in the past, when it first came out, I feel like if your parents didn't buy it from you and you couldn't get it from the library, there wasn't really a way to get it, right?
Yeah, shy of involving somebody else and
Yeah.
like borrowing somebody else's book and
Right.
like
Yeah,
them being okay with not telling.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It was definitely way harder.
Yeah.
Like I read all the books at my friend Chris's house, so that my parents didn't know.
Oh, interesting.
And I think I read every book in like one night. Like I would go over there when
Oh!
it would come out and I would stay up and I would just read it all.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's amazing. That makes it even better because it's like you were doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
you're like,
was
but it feels so right because it's
deliciously blasphemous. Yeah.
Huh.
That was my favorite sensation as a child. Blasphemy.
Oh. I do. I have like implicit trust in both of your recommendations now because everything that you guys have recommended to read has been like spot on at this point and really enjoyable. So, um,
Except for
what's
my favorite book series.
okay? That series is not good, but it's the Black Jizz, man. I had to take a break.
There's a lot of horrible things about it. In fact, it's mostly
I'm
horrible.
still
It's
gonna
hard.
finish it. I'm still gonna finish it. It's just I think that
Excited
Canadian
for the next
author-
thing that's going to make you stop reading it. What you're going to get to, and you're going to be like, time out.
I think I started. Yeah, I started the second book, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." It was.
Jeremy was
Oh, well,
describing
anyway.
it to me.
It's not nice,
Ooh.
Christy. It's bad. It's bad, bad. But it's
I didn't
such
even-
a masterfully written fantasy series.
It is. It is. But
You
there's
can get
just.
past the one thing.
Oh no, it's all bad.
Oh,
It's all the things.
Okay, never mind.
There's some lines. There's some lines in that book that I can't get out of my head because they're both so beautifully written and then also disgusting at the exact same time. It's very disturbing. We might
It's
get
very
banned
disturbing.
from YouTube. We might get banned from YouTube if I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There's this line where who's the character that's the prostitute?
Stairway.
Thomas? Yeah. So she has sex with a guy. He jizzes inside of her. The jizz starts to run down her leg.
Esmenet. Yeah.
Yeah. The jizz starts to run down her leg after
That all
he's
seems-
done with her, and he throws her away.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's this line in the book where it's like, and the jizz came down her leg like a warm tear falling down out of the eye of a small boy and rolling down his
Ew!
cheek. I'm like, what the like?
Why is
what
it
are
gonna be
these?
compared to a small boy?
all terrible.
Ew.
I'm like,
Please don't
what do
read
you
it,
mean?
Chrissy. You'll think less of me.
I was already okay. So the first half, I was like, yeah, I mean that stuff just happens in real life, and then it had to be described in that way, and I was like, all right.
It's not nice. It's bad.
It had to be compared to a small boy.
I don't.
It's so funny to like see people on Reddit because there's the small core of people who just love it. And I'm,
Yeah.
in there, and they like are waiting for opportunities to recommend it. And they're always like at the
Oh,
bottom
God.
with like 4 likes because there's only like 8 people on there that like it.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's amazing. And you're like, I came across the comment. Somebody did it.
I
Yeah.
was trying to like find interesting dialogue about it because it's so polarizing. Like it's just, the series is not nice in many ways,
Yeah.
particularly to women, and it's like a medieval world, and that's like the patriarchal framework of old days is how it's
Right.
built, and it's not very nice to women at all. So I found this group of podcasters that do what we do. They are more established and they have a viewer base, but whatever. I can't remember their name, but it's like 2 or 3 guys and 1 woman, and like one of the guys was like knew it was inappropriate to enjoy the book, and the other 2 guys were like, "This was so awesome," and the woman was like, "This disgusted me."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not surprising.
Womp womp.
If you check online for YouTube reviews, there's very few women that enjoyed it and will recommend it.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I only have 2 friends that have read it, and they both enjoyed it.
It's
One
good.
is Greg, and the other one is my friend Melanie, but she doesn't count because she's lesbian.
Oh man.
Wait, they read the whole series? Both of
Mhm.
them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I have to finish it now so that I can be friend 3.
I remember my first ex, who was a complete asshole. We were together for just shy of 3 years. He'd like read the first half of the first book, and he was like, "I can't continue. I don't like any of these characters. Like, there's no one to root for." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?"
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely. I don't know if I've read a bunch of stuff that I can't root for any characters. Somehow reading that is a little harder than watching it, because I've definitely watched plenty of shows where like none of these characters are redeemable. There's nothing to like about any of them, and yet this show is just really good.
Mm.
Like Succession on HBO.
There's one character who's
They're
redeemable.
all
Drusus Camion is redeemable.
horrible people. But anyway.
I'm having another strawberry starburst. Candy cane. Delicious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so bummed after I eat them all. They're all gone.
How many do you have left?
I have like 6 or so of the Starburst ones, but Greg got them, and I feel guilty about eating them all. But he's not eating them, so I'm just gonna eat them. So just, I guess I have 6.
I have 6 if they are all mine and not Greg's.
Mhm.
Snooze Steelers.
I'll eat it once a week.
Since it is hella cold outside,
So cold.
would you guys we could just pick like a random Saturday in February and do like a Harry Potter role play at
Yeah.
somebody's house?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
I will confer with people and I'll aim for like a random Saturday in February, because that should be far off enough in the future where I would think none of us would have plans at this point. So
No, I mean
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got
have any
stuff throughout
plans for
January,
February.
and I got some stuff at the end of March, but I got nothing going on for February.
Yeah, I don't either.
right on. Okay.
February is a dark month.
We don't usually do a Valentine's Day thing. We talk about it, and then we order Chinese.
Oh, I guess there is Valentine's Day. We pretty much only celebrate like the day before or the day after. We almost never do anything on the actual day. But that's a Wednesday anyway. So.
Oh.
I gotta make chicken and dumplings for you guys.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yes. Did that turn out? How did that turn out?
It was the best batch I've made to date. They're so good.
Was it apple pie or apple crisp?
Yeah, apple crisp.
Oh,
I know that's delicious. They used to
Yeah.
serve it in fall at Ted's Montana Grill, and I found like a copycat recipe a couple years ago, and I've like tinkered around with it, and now I can make with one stick of butter and do like a decent sized one.
Nice.
And yeah, so like that's good, but the chicken and dumplings are
I want to eat that.
Same.
yeah. I can whenever we do Harry Potter, if it's gonna be cold, I can like make a big pot of it because we can just put it on the stove and heat it up.
It'll be cold. It'll be cold. Yes.
Yes.
Groovy.
And if it's not, we'll just turn the air way down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
work
Like
it
I
out.
mean, it doesn't have to be cold. It's just like to me, it's like oh, it's cold. Let's have
It
soup.
is. It's extra special. But to be fair, soup is one of my favorite things ever. And so
Okay.
I'll eat it at any time of the year.
My next goals is I want to master beef stew, Brunswick stew, and hot and sour soup. So like that's the order I'm gonna go in.
Hot and sour soup. Okay.
My mom makes wonderful hot and sour soup, but now she's a dirty
Oh.
vegan. So she's a dirty conservative vegan.
You just need to steal her recipe
Mm-hmm.
and claim it for your own.
Yep.
Pry it out of her dirty vegan fingers.
Give me that lady.
Drop it.
I know you're about to vote for Trump. Give that to me.
Why do you still have a picture of McCain up? I'm kidding. She doesn't. She's very a reasonable person.
Christy's like,
Seems like she would be a sweet woman.
Mama Darling rocks.
So cute.
Christy's like giggling, and then off screen she has like a giant Trump flag like on her wall.
Or even
know,
worse,
right?
like a huge picture of John McCain.
To be
We
fair, I
missed the
think I'd
golden
rather
age.
that than Trump.
Christy's
Yeah.
holding like an AR-15 right now. Like they'll never take it from me.
Yeah, that's how I take my Christmas cards. Like the pictures for my Christmas cards. That's like that's a totally normal thing to do. And then send them to all of your friends and family.
That mental image is great.
It's just like one of the weirdest things.
There's like a strung up deer being
Fire.
bled dry in the background. You can just like see it out the window.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
I enjoyed this.
This was excellent. We
It was
should
extra
cut
good.
it off though. Yes, we have gone beyond an hour. This was very fun.
Do need to go eat dinner now.
Yes. It's not gonna be chicken and dumplings though.
It won't, because it won't compare.
Sorry guys, I got leftovers, but we're gonna eat the fuck out of them tonight. So.
You should.
Yes. All right. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Make good choices.
I was waiting for it.
I know, me too.
Aw. Bye guys.
Bye.